I always get this talk before I come in here with y'all. I get the talk to behave. I can't promise you nothing, kids. Okay, what's up? Okay, don't do that, y'all. They already made me take it off once today. Go crazy. I don't feel like I need this mic. Do y'all feel like I need this mic? The jerseys go stupid. Y'all been asking 5 years for a black jersey, y'all. We got them.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jen?
Good. Just starting with you individually, what's kind of your approach heading into camp, and do you have goals set, or how are you going to measure success individually for you?
I'm excited. This is like the first day of school, right? It's like you come back, it's media day. We get to see all of our friends. We get to see all of our teammates in one building and in uniform, so it makes it real. But my goal is the same, to be the leader of this team, to be the engine behind this team. The beautiful thing is we're a great defensive team, and a lot of that doesn't fall on my shoulders solely anymore. We have Ariel Atkins, Slim, Shatori. So we're going to be a headache on the defensive end, which is exciting. But my role is to be a leader on the court, to put my teammates in successful situations. But I want to continue to grow too. So I have, my own personal goals. Feel like I should have made an all-star team last year. That's the goal for this year, and not just for me, but I would love to see my parents celebrate with me in an all-star. So I'm going to work really hard for that for them this season. And I want to win a championship. I feel like we have every single piece that we need to do that. And now it's just about plugging those pieces in. And it's not about, where we are May 19th. It's about where we are when that championship series comes around.
I know you guys haven't had much practice yet, but
literally none. But we leave Wednesday for mini.
You have had some workouts with other folks. Just to give you an opportunity to shout somebody out who's caught your eye, either because they've added something to their game, or maybe somebody new who looks good. What are your impressions?
It's been great. We have gotten in some workouts. We've played pickup a few times. Our scout guys are really good this year, y'all. They beat us up the other day. But they're really good. But I think I would say Elle has come out, and I know that she was a scorer at USF, right? Yeah. USF, but to see it implemented into the professional game already, she's ready. And that's exciting to see. And she's just a dog. She's going to yell N1. She's going to be up guarding at half court, waiting for you. And those are all exciting things, especially as a point guard too, right? I appreciate it. The things that don't necessarily show up in the box score or always get seen, I appreciate from afar. So I think Elle's been doing a great job. A mini-me, yeah. What's up, Wade? What's up, my guy? It's great to see you too.
I'm really excited.
I like the sky blue shirt. Okay, yeah.
That's how you
feel me?
Cloud, right?
Okay, yeah.
You stand up, because I think this is one of the hardest jerseys out right now.
Okay, let me do it for you.
Thank you.
Let me do it for you, and don't forget the back now.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
So I got two questions.
Sheesh.
Two questions for you guys. One is, your WNBA assistant leader, your point guard, your dog. But AU has elected you to be like a player coach. Can you say how can you take your game mentally to the next level this year? As we know you have big aspirations, but thinking as a coach on the court now.
Yeah, I think that's why I love AU so much, is because it challenges me in a lot of different ways. It's not just I get to come out here and just play. No, I have to coach. I have to draw up plays. I have to come in the timeouts with how can we get better on both ends of the floor. I have to be able to communicate to every single one of my teammates in a way that is productive for us on the court, that fits their way of needing to be talked to. So I felt like last year why I took such a huge jump as a point guard is because I am thinking of the game differently. I'm thinking of it from a coach's standpoint. And so when I'm able to do that on the floor, I am the coach on the floor because I'm an extension of Coach Eric now, right? Yeah. So when I can be better at thinking through the game, okay, what plays do we need to call? When's the last time Della got a shot? We have X amount of timeouts. This is a 2-for-1 situation. All those things really do matter, especially from the point guard position. So I'm very thankful to Athletes Unlimited for just the blueprint of what it is, because it's made me a better player, a better person, and a better, I might go into coaching. You never know, but it's going to make me a better coach too.
I don't think I'm going to be. So we know, I feel like your voice, you bigger than basketball. You are an activist, you're a hooper, you are a friend, somebody's cousin. You helped me find my voice.
No,
and
I
when
love
I talk to now international young
sweet.
ladies overseas about basketball, what can you just give a message to maybe a young girl somewhere that's maybe down or thinking like my voice doesn't matter? Like you inspire me.
I love
And
that.
so can you just give that, if you can inspire a guy from Baltimore, you can for sure inspire a young girl somewhere and maybe in Cleveland, Ohio, somewhere.
Yeah, I appreciate that first and foremost. I feel like we're just at a time where we need voices and every voice counts. And I feel like I figured that out a little bit late, but I found it out at the right time because when I came into this league, it was our blueprint. We're going to speak up. We're going to talk about issues within our community, issues that plague our communities that don't necessarily have light shined on them like they should. And utilizing and understanding how powerful my platform is, right? Not only as a player, but a person. So you don't have to be a professional athlete. You don't have to be a celebrity to have real impact or to have a powerful voice. It starts at your home. It starts in your locker room every single day. It starts with your friend group. Really just owning right from wrong too. I think sometimes people, and there's different ways to be an activist. I think that's the thing I've learned too. I'm very blunt to the point. I'm going to say what I feel and then I'm going to keep it moving. Doesn't always work for everyone else. Elena is very lead by example. She's going to, amplify me because that's her way of kind of buying into it. So everyone has a different approach to activism. So there's not one right way, but understanding the power that you have. And especially as a young girl and a young Black girl, especially, understand that you have power, understand that your voice matters, and that simply by saying one thing, simply by doing one right thing, you can change the trajectory of someone's life. And I feel like once you realize that I go in Starbucks and I ask, good morning, how are you? And it is like, they can't, wow, I'm like, people don't ask you like, how you doing today? No, they just come in. That simple interaction can change the trajectory of someone's day, can change the trajectory of someone's life. So I feel like we need to really start looking at our interactions with people and approach them, right? Don't be an energy taker, be an energy giver. And I don't know if that answers your question because I'm starting to ramble, but yeah. I love that. Love that. He's so sweet, y'all.
Gosh, with the return of
my good Chris, yeah, girl, you look good today, girl. Yeah.
With the return of Christy Tolliver to the roster this year, when she was here before, there were times on the court that you were playing alongside her. Mm-hmm. What do you think that's going to look like? Also, with Ariel Atkins having some point guard experience with USA basketball, and Brittany Sykes too can also push pace.
Yeah, I love it. It makes my job actually easier. Now I don't have to dribble the ball off the court or kind of facilitate. Like everyone 1 through 5 can facilitate our offense, which is going to make us really scary to guard. The spacing that we're implementing into our offense, it's going to be a huge relief for me. But I think these are the pieces that we need to make us a better team moving forward on both sides of the court. So adding Christy back in, we played the whole 2019 season. You couldn't say who was the one or the two because we're interchangeable. So there's moments that Christy's going to be the closest outlet. She's going to bring up the ball and start our offense. There's going to be moments where, okay, I feel like I need to push pace a little bit more, so I'm going to demand the ball and I'm going to get the ball up the court. But having Slim and Ariel Atkins more comfortable in that point guard position too, it just makes us a really scary team because who you going to guard? Who you going to guard? You got to get back in transition defense. I know that's right. Okay, because we running. Thank you. My man, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
I was actually going to ask you to expand a little bit on that because Eric talked about playing with more pace, better spacing.
Yeah, we were like last in pace last year. Yeah.
So what is that? And I know you guys haven't, had a whole lot of time out on the court together, but how do you envision that playing out and why does that fit your strengths? As a club, as a group that you guys have, and then I'm going to have a follow-up after it.
We are the best defensive team in this league. And that's coming from last year, but we actually just got better on defense by adding and implementing the players that we did this year. So we are the best defensive team. We were the worst offensive, trend. Our offense wasn't great last year, y'all. That's just being honest. So now you implement all those pieces. You add Christy back in, you add Slim back in, you add Ariel Atkins, who can all run the one, right? when we get stops on defense, now that makes us a better transition offensive team, which is who we want to be. In 2019, we won a championship by being a transition offense team. We barely ran any plays, barely, because we were good enough to get stops, to push the ball in pace. And when we have space and pace, we're a really scary team. So all these pieces that we're adding in, the mindset that we want to run in pace, those are all right. How do we get better as a team? How do we take that next step to be a championship team? So we're going to play one end of the floor, and then we're going to push the ball, and we're going to score on the other end of the floor. That's going to win this game.
And what does this feel? Does it feel similar? Because you guys bring back your whole core. Eric has been here, but now he's got a new role. But now you bring in some vets that you guys are still familiar with.
Yeah.
To kind of round out it. Does it feel like a similar team? Does it feel different? Because it kind of from the outside, it kind of looks like both, and it's kind of odd, or not odd, but hard to kind of predict, just because you guys are adding a lot of pieces, but a lot of the pieces are also the same.
Yeah, I think this is a new team. This is a new year. And so while I'll bring up 2019 because that's when we won, and I'll reference it, this is a completely different team from that team in 2023. So I'm excited. I do have the same feel that we have everything in our locker room that we need, and now it's about piecing it together. And again, it's not about how we start, it's about how we finish. Yeah, I know we keep talking about two particular teams in this league, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited for what we have in our locker room. Our core has been together for 5 years, and when you have that experience, it makes a world of a difference in your pursuit for a championship. So I think that's going to be the difference for us this year. And everyone's bought in. We're really bought into each other. We're committed to what our goals are. And that's a beautiful thing when you have everyone that's bought in and committed to those things. Thank you.
Josh,
how you doing?
Your jersey, the vibe, it matches you.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like it's an intimidation.
I have 2 questions for you. First one, I want to ask about Eric, because I feel like the parallels of your 2 careers in the W are very similar. Like, he was a relatively young coach when you first came into the league.
Yeah.
So how much has he contributed to your development when he was assistant coach? And now obviously he's going to be your coach this year. What has he done to help you reach levels in your game?
Yeah, I feel like Eric has been here for 10 years. So I know that people are a little fearful or can be doubtful in a lot of senses of the move or the change, but he's been a part of every success that this team has had. Every single player that is in this locker room has been recruited by him and Coach T. So he has had his hands into everything that makes the Mystics what they are. The last 2-3 years, whether we've acknowledged it or not, you guys aren't going to see it from the media. He runs our practices the last 2-3 years. He comes into the huddles, he draws up our plays, he's in control of our offense and what it looks like and how it is. So just because we don't speak on those things doesn't mean that those things weren't real. So now this transition is very seamless to us because we've seen it the last 2-3 years within our practices. And then I've been here 8 years, and Eric has been a huge part of my development. Safu is my personal player development guy, but Eric has been great with me about being real, about steps that I need to be to get better for this team, not only on the court and talent wise, but off the court as a leader as well. So that's just going to continue. And he's done a really good job in the few weeks that we've been here. And even last night with our team dinner, how he approached it, he's ready. And when he exudes that confidence in himself out to us, we already have that confidence in him. It's just about him feeling that in himself too.
My second question, I want to ask about the momentum behind women's sports right now, following all the coattails, the wave of the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. You can say the coattails of them because the babies was hooping.
How has that conversation been brought up amongst WNBA players, maybe talking kind of behind the scenes about what can you guys do this year?
How do we make this league better for them? How do we make this league better for them so that when they come to this league, that there's no secret. We have 144 roster spots. We actually don't, because most teams can only hold 11 now. So when you talk about, they had a phenomenal tournament with a lot of record-breaking things for women's sports, right? How do we make this league better for them? And I think that's all of our common goal of, okay, how do we continue to grow this league so by the time that Angel Reese is graduating and ready to come into this league, Caitlin, Haley, all those, Paige and AZ, that this league is in a better position for them to thrive and for them to have the same success and experience that they had in college. And there's no drop off, there's no let off. So that, I think that's the common goal, but also for us, how do we carry over that momentum, right? Like, I'm still trying to figure out year 8 where the disconnect is between college basketball and having all the best players from college basketball now in one central league and not being bought into. And it's frustrating, right? Because you can look at the NWSL, and I love them. I love them. I love our Washington Spirit, but they've continued to add like 2-3 teams this year. Why are we not doing the same? And so how do we get the support that they get? How do we bring it to our league? And I think the frustrating part for us is when you look at the 2 teams and 2 leagues, what are the demographics? And I think we have to be real about that. I think we have to be honest about it. The hate that was thrown to Angel Reese after the tournament, it's not because she did the same things as Caitlin Clark or Haley, it's because she's Black. So I think until we start being real about those things and why we aren't invested into the way we should be invested into, it comes down to, do we support Black women in this country? Period. Mm-hmm.
Natasha, how you doing? We heard the emphasis on spacing quite a bit this week. And everyone's talking about it. So, with the collection of things that you guys have, you're having
now, baby, who, baby? It's the MVP. That's the MVP. The bigs that we have on this roster allow our spacing to be what it is. So you can talk about our guards and our guard play all you want, but they are going to be our X factor on the offensive end. Who do you guard? When we play with space and you have post players that all can shoot the 3 and Shakira is getting out there, but who do you guard? How do you guard us in space, right? When we're able to get to the basket, when our post players are still able to play back to the basket, but then they're able to step out to the 3-point line. They're able to pick and roll. They're able to ghost out and shoot off the dribble. That versatility alone is going to make us a really scary team. And then you can talk about our guards and what we're going to be able to do with that amount of spacing and their ability to shoot. And, you know, Elena, Tiana, Shakira, they draw so much attention in pick and roll defense. That's going to just open us up as guards. So our offense this year, we are emphasizing spacing because we're only going to be as great as our spacing is.
Tosh, going back to what you were saying about the connectivity between the WNBA and college basketball.
Yeah.
I recently heard AZ Bud saying that you guys are very close.
I love AZ and Paige. I love AZ and Paige. They're so sweet.
How important is that to have those connections and to plant those seeds and to let them know that, yeah, I'm the linchpin. Like, you can come to me and ask questions about the WNBA and how it is and the transition.
I just want to be a tool for them in whatever facet. And Paige had a paper she had to do on, social activism. So she asked me to write her a bunch of questions. I'm like, whatever you need, just ask. I wrote it, sent it to her. I'm like, if you have any follow-up, let me know. But I think they need to know that we are here for them in whatever facet that they need. And it's not just about basketball. If you have questions about life, if you have questions about your activism, if you have literally questions about food in DC, you can call me and I'm going to be here for y'all. And I feel like that's a huge difference in creating that, or making that gap smaller, right? Is to have those relationships between players that go just much further beyond the court. So AZ and Paige, phenomenal basketball players, but I always tell them what I love most about them is their hearts. I think they're phenomenal kids and young women, and they're doing what they can with their platforms, and they're not afraid to use them. And all their success that they're having, right, with NILs and all that stuff. I want to be able to tell you, like, this is great, and now this is how you need to go about saving that money, because money, okay, money, the ball stops at some point. So really utilizing, I'm sure y'all see my tweets about, if I was in college and I had an extra year, I would stay. And that's not no hate to our league. That's just the reality of what is best for y'all. If I could make this money, okay, you would have to yell at me. You would have to kick me out of school, okay? They is making money. but yeah, I think the relationships between us are all really important, and it just closes that gap that we have between the two.
Speaking of relationships, what was your thought process seeing the joy from BG as you begin training there?
Ooh. I feel like last year, regardless if you were on Phoenix or not, we were missing one of our main pieces of this league. We were missing a family member. And that weighs you all season long, right? Of what can we do? There was points where I was like, I don't feel like we're doing what we need to do in order to get her out. Why are we not talking about it? But obviously following in the plans of her family and those that she entrusted. But man, to see her back in some practice gear and just smiling and at home with her family and her wife, this is what we've been working for the last year. I have chills talking about it now, but we are now complete because she's back. And she now gets to have a normal life, get back to her normal life. And I don't think people realize we take that for granted every single day. The situation that she was in, I don't know if many people could survive it. And I don't know if many people could still come back with the same heart that she has even now. And I love BG. I'm so happy that she's home. But I think, you know, all the accolades that BG has had in her career and will continue to have don't mean anything for what she's about to do for her community and for people that have been in likewise situations that she's still fighting for.
That's it. There's no Zoom. There's any questions? Matt, is there a question?
Y'all got Zoom questions?
Yeah, we'll go to Christos.
Christos.
Unmute yourself.
You're muted, Christos. Yep.
I'm sorry. Hello, Natasha. Have a great season, first of all.
Thank you. Hi, Christos.
I would like to ask you about the rookie, Elena Chineke. As a player who's going to play in point guard position, as a starter point guard as you, how important and how enjoyable for you is to see a young player, to see her development and playing this league, take her under your wings and learning her so many things about WNBA?
Yeah, it's been a joy for me. We've only been together for about a week now, but you know, they asked me who was you know, one of the people that not surprised me the most, but I'm excited about, and it is Elle. I think from that point guard position, she's phenomenal. She's a great leader already. She vocalizes, she pushes in pace, she is aggressive, she's a dog on the court. And that's a beautiful thing to see. So for me, it's about, you know, taking her under my wing a little bit and just telling her, you know, things that I've learned throughout my career during my 8 years here being a point guard, just trying to make things easier for her. You know, Christy asked me the question about bridging the gap between college and the professional, but that can be said for her as well. It's just coming in. I feel like I wasn't necessarily taken under a wing when I came in. So it took me like 3 years to really just learn everything. I don't want her to have to go through that. So whatever knowledge that I have, I want to pass down to her. And it's not only about my knowledge. She might have things that she could correct in me. And I think that openness between both of us is a beautiful thing, but just really excited for her overall.
And also looking at the league, the whole league, and the level of competition, do you feel that this season is going to be the most competitive season of the last 10 years at least?
Absolutely. I know everyone wants to focus on our home opener, and you know, that's going to be a tough game against a really good team, but then we have 2 games against Connecticut. This league is going to be, I think this year is going to be the most competitive this league has been in a while. You don't get any off nights. You don't get time to rest or take time off or to not bring your A game every single night. So that's the exciting part about our league still growing.
Thank you very much. Have a great season.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the time we have for Tosh.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I have a quick.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, we gotta keep it moving, Rafiq. Sorry.
Listen.